Hello everybody, this is Peter Bom again for Australia Motorcycle News with the update what happened today in Aragon at the MotoGP race in Spain on the Saturday. And yeah, the Saturday is a day full of action. Yesterday we had the free sessions and we had the pre-qualifying, and today was like the real qualifying, and immediately followed by the sprint race. And a lot happened. I assume you've seen the race, I assume you've seen the result. I don't need to tell you Marc Marquez was winning. He was about to win it, he could only lose it, and he didn't do it. But there were some standout things. But before I start to tell you some of the special things that happened here, I need to tell you something that explained probably more what happened today. It's like, this track is dirty, but really, probably dirty is not a good word. It's not used enough, and it's not very grippy. So the real racing line that we can use is pretty small. That's already a problem in qualifying because you have to be so precise. But in the race, and that's the problem, that's why I start with this. In the race, having such a narrow line makes overtaking very, very hard, which Jack Miller found out when he hit Joan Mir. You know, Jack Miller was naughty, I already tell you, and the stewards were immediately on and said, you have a long lap. He knew, he saw it coming, he expected it. He didn't do it on purpose. He just told us, you know, I really feel sorry for Joan Mir. I had to move on him because I was faster, but then I was on the dirty part of the track. And I really tried to avoid it. I was fully sideways, he said, but finally we touched and we both went off track, but he accidentally crashed. So it's not because Jack was doing like unbelievable stupid things. This track doesn't make overtaking very, very easy by being like dirty or slippery offline. That's the one thing. But the same dirtiness that this track had is also having a huge influence on the start, because the grid of it, the whole grid where everybody is on the grid, it's also very dirty. It's only clean on the racing line, which means the guy on pole on the right side and the guy second in the middle of the track, they are cool. They are starting on the part of the track that is really used. But the guy, if you're really, really good and you're very proud you qualified yourself in third, you're actually fucked because there's no grip there. That brings me to Pecco Bagnaia. Pecco Bagnaia qualified fourth. He had a shit yesterday. He had a terrible morning. And in the last five minutes of the qualifying, he saved it by putting himself in P4. That's not only quite good for Pecco because he's having a terrible season so far, but it also puts him on the clean part of the track. So suddenly, all stars seems to be in line for Pecco to do something in the race, but he didn't. He couldn't. Pecco is just still not recovered from the shell shock that he got with the 2025 Ducati. That is so differently. Not according to the Ducati engineers, but in his carefully chosen words, he said maybe on paper it's the same, but the dynamic behavior is very different. What he means with dynamic behavior, the feedback I get when I brake hard into the corner, not just straight line but also into the corner, is so very different, and so it's not the type of feedback I expecting, so I can't be fast. And this is a big problem. It's basically all the 2025 Ducatis, there are 3 of them, suffer from it, only he suffers more, and this shows a weakness from Pecco Bagnaia. And the guy that does not suffer, apparently, is Marc Marquez. But hey, Marc is Marc, and especially here in Aragon. So yeah, Pecco is in big trouble, finishing P12 out of the points of the sprint race, starting from P4. I mean, if you start from P4 on a factory Ducati and you finish P12, you expect to have a broken crankshaft or something, but nothing's broken. He just has no confidence. KTM's. We had a couple of KTMs in the top 10, and they finished 5th and 6th. And actually I was expecting even a little bit more, because the KTMs are not bad. They just never found a cure for the chatter that comes with the new Michelin rear tire. I said new, but it's already the tire from last year, and they never found a solution for it. Now the good thing from this track, like I tell you, there is very little grip. If there is very little grip, one thing is not a problem, chatter, because for chatter you need grip. So this is the chance for KTM to do something special, and we saw it in qualifying, we saw it, but in this race, I mean, at the moment KTM 5th and 7th, that's just the best they can do, that's where they are. Jack Miller finished 13th, including a long lap, which is absolutely not bad, but yeah, obviously he's not very happy with it. Today, in the sprint, you expect everybody to start on the soft rear tire, which is normally in the sprint race the case, but the soft rear tire they bring here is such a weird tire, the riders say. that quite 4, 5, 6 riders choose to do the race, the sprint race with a medium rear tire, just because that tire is more predictable. It has less grip, but the balance in the front and rear tires between the grip is more nice, so it works for them. Tomorrow everybody will be on the medium rear tire. We'll make it a little bit more of an even playing field for everybody. So, and then the other problem that we have in Aragon here, with the super high temperatures, I mean, it's hot here, believe me. Super high track temperatures. The front tires of Michelin, they go up in temperature. When the temperature goes up of the air expands, they go up and the pressure goes up in the front tire. And that with the Michelin is a disaster. The Michelin front tire, pressure comes up, you lose all the confidence. So, yeah, speaking to Peter Bom, he said, I lose it. I was going to Morbidelli, I was too long behind him. Then I fall back, my tire cools down and I could come again to him, but still not overtake him. So there's two things that prevents us from seeing a lot of overtaking actions here in Aragon. Shitty grip outside the very narrow race line and super high track temperatures. So let's keep our fingers crossed that tomorrow we have a better race. There's one more guy that I need to tell you about, Marco Bezzecchi and Aprilia. Aprilia having only one top rider, Marco Bezzecchi screwed up this morning basically. He was in Q1 and he had a pace to go to Q2, but in the first lap in Q1 he already binned it. You can't bin it in Q1, you know, that's definitely your fault. If there's no oil on the tire, it's your fault. He binned it, okay, that's it. And then he comes back for the other bike, and the other bike wasn't really ready. So he jumped on it, immediately got back to the pit lane saying something wrong, that the brakes, the tires, I don't have it and so on. And they checked the bike, they said, no, you have to go, it's 2 minutes to go. And so, you know, chaos. Tip, honestly, I'm going to be hard on Aprilia here. It's not the first time that on the Aprilia pit box there is like chaos and disorganization. So, but then, to save the day, Bezzecchi start from completely last, and I have to check my notes here. Marco Bezzecchi, Aprilia, finishing 8th. I did a little calculation, because starting from the far back of the grid, you always have a shit start. He lost more than 4 seconds in the first lap. If I take that from the distance he had to the winner in the end, he should have finished 3, 4, sure 5th. So again, Aprilia, they lost the chance for a really good result. But fortunately, tomorrow we have another go. It's going to be a completely different race. So yeah, look forward to the main race of tomorrow. Yeah, my cameraman kindly reminds me of to say something about Alex Marquez. I don't need to say anything about Alex Marquez. He finished where you expect him to finish. P2 behind his brother. I want to say something about Australian riders. Not an easy day for Senna Aegis here. P13 in a Moto2. Moto2 is not Moto3. If you don't have the pace in Moto2, I mean, he finished 0.8 from the first. Either they find something miraculously tomorrow, or he's not going to be in the top 3. The good thing from his starting position, P13, is he's on the right, which is the clean side of the track. So maybe he jumps 2 rows and we have a whole new situation. I tell you tomorrow. Moto3, we have Joel Kelso, which we all know is quite fast this year, in P8. That in Moto3 means you're in the game. But we also have Jacob Rulstone, a rookie, first years, in P6. So rookie in Moto3, we are on race 7 now more or less, already in P6. That will be good. He's not going to win it tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong actually, but I keep my fingers crossed for him. We have 3 Australian riders doing really well, actually 4 including Jack Miller. So yeah, and that was it from today, from the Saturday. I hope you enjoyed it, and tomorrow we'll be back for the Sunday roundup. Bye.